Hello and welcome to the third lesson on Irish verbs with Patricia from All About Irish. Today, Martin and I are going to be looking at the past tense in Irish using regular verbs. Enjoy.
So last week we did the future, and we're continuing now this week with our very systematic approach. Okay, so we're just kind of understanding what happens, and we're going to do the past tense today. And of course, while we learn the rules in this class, the practice afterwards is what of course, and the repetition is what's going to make us know them kind of as we want to, so that we can use them. So the first thing I'm going to say about the past tense is that you'd be happy to know we don't have to learn any endings, no endings at all. You will remember in the present tense we had the ending like bhliain she. In group 2 we had the ending Ceannaigh, he buys, and we had me as well, bhliain, Ceannaigh, and in the future we had bhliain Ceannaigh. And now in the past we don't have to add any ending at all. So it doesn't, this distinction between group 1 and group 2 doesn't really matter most of the time. So again, our starting point, as always, is, what is it, Martin? What's the starting point when we want to talk about verbs in Irish?
The imperative.
Come on, Sinead. Yeah, the imperative, the command, and the command that we give to one person. So bhliain, Ceannaigh, and so on. So another thing about the past tense is we don't use, in terms of the sound change, the uru and the shevu, you don't come across the uru at all. Okay, so this, the letter in front, the eclipsis, isn't going to happen in the past. The only sound change that happens in the past, but it happens a lot, it's very important in the past, is shevu, the H. Because actually, that's how we make the past. We take the command and we add a shevu to it. We change the start of the sound. Okay, so bhliain will become bhliain. Bhliain me antach Imigh. Bhliain me antach Imigh. Richard, how would you say she cleaned the house yesterday?
Bhliain she antach Imigh.
Come on, bhliain she antach Imigh. So GLAN is the command, and now to make the past, just add the shevu, GHLAN. Bhliain she antach Imigh. You might tell someone to close the door. Dún adoras, dún adoras. Dún is the command. D for the N. Group 1, but again, it kind of doesn't matter. So how would I say she closed the door?
Yeah. Chun she andoras.
Chun she andoras. Chun she andoras. We might think about cutting a cake, right? Ghearr, Gearr. Ghearr. Ghearr. Ghearr and cófra and nish. Cut the cake. I'm hungry. Ghearr and cófra. Ghearr.
What's Ghearr?
Cut, like isn't to cut something.
Okay.
How would you say, Richard? I cut the cake. It was your birthday yesterday, after all.
Okay, so Ghearr me and caite.
Come on, Ghearr me and caite. Ghearr me. Ghearr me. Ghearr. Okay, so I suppose we do need to know what is the sound change here. What happens when we put a shevu onto, I'll call that a slender G, a G with an E after it. It's kind of like a Y sound. Ghearr me an caite. Ghearr me an caite Imigh. We'll do a few more. Cuir de chóta sa cófra. Cuir, put. Cuir de chóta sa cófra. I put my coat in the press, Martin.
I put my coat in the press.
Wow.
Cuir me mo cóta. I don't know what the word for press is.
It's cófra.
Cófra.
So but let's get the I put bit. Can you say that again? Cuir is the command, C-U-I-R. Cuir.
Cuir me.
And how do you spell, if you want to say the past, how would you spell it?
C-H-U-I-R.
Okay, so the sound has to change a little bit here.
Chur me.
Come on, Sinead. Chur me ma chóta sa cófra. Chur me ma chóta sa cófra. That's that CH, the broad CH. Chur me. Okay, as a Dutch speaker, you'll have no problems with that, okay? Chur me ma chóta sa cófra. Come on.
Chur me ma chóta. So the coat also becomes lenited. Chur me ma chóta sa cófra.
Sa cófra. And actually, sa is leniting cófra there. The cófra. And actually, sometimes after sa, you can lenite, or it can be like eclipsis, depending on the the dialect. So it could be sa cófra or sa cófra. Churma mo chóta sa cófra. Let's take another one, Richard. Bris. How would you say, first of all, the commands? Don't break it.
Na bris. Na brishe.
No brishe.
No
No brishe. No brishe. No brishe on níoR. No brishe. No brishe. Now, how would you say, I broke it?
Vrishme.
Yeah, vrishme. Vrishme. I broke it. Vrishme. Great. And now let's look one in group 2. And we'll see that doesn't matter anymore about the groups. Ceannaigh. Ceannaigh. How would you say, that's the command. Ceannaigh. Ceannaigh. Chéagaidí and shoppa agus ceannaigh raw. Go to the shop and buy bread. Ceannaigh. How would you say, I bought it, Martin?
Ceannaigh me.
Come on. Ceannaigh me. A for it. Ceannaigh me. Ceannaigh me. Do you know how to say last year, Martin?
Last year?
Yeah.
Ceannaigh me. Something with bhliain.
Yeah, okay. So it's good that we know now how to say something last. On bhliain seo caite. The year now past is kind of what we're saying. On bhliain seo caite. Do you remember how to say next year?
Ceannaigh me on bhliain.
On bhliain seo caite, yeah, last year. But just to compare with the future, which we did last week.
Oh, Ceannaigh.
Ceannaigh me on bhliain seo chugainn. On bhliain seo
Ceannaigh me next bhliain.
On bhliain seo chugainn. So can you see the way if we know on bhliain seo chugainn, on bhliain seo caite is in bhliain seo caite is last year, the year now past, and then bhliain seo chugainn is next year, the year now coming towards us. Is actually what it is. Okay,
the year now coming.
Yeah, but on bhliain seo caite. So we're going to be talking about on bhliain seo caite this week. Or this week. Yeah, it's the wrong shot. On bhliain seo caite. How would you say last week? Or that was last year. How would you say last week, Martin?
On tseachtain. Or the night's right. On tseachtain. On
tseachtain seo caite. On
tseachtain seo caite.
Has a T because it's a feminine word beginning with the letter S. But we're not here to talk about that. But you hear this so often that it should be on your ear. On tseachtain seo caite. On tseachtain seo caite. How would you say, Richard, I bought a new car last week? Ceannaigh is the command. Ceannaigh.
Ceannaigh me and car. Car.
Car. Nua.
And tseachtain seo caite.
Come on, Sinead. Ceannaigh me cór nua an tseachtain seo caite. Ceannaigh me cór nua an tseachtain seo caite. Ítach. Here's another one. So you can see now, can't you, that there is this group 1 and group 2 doesn't matter because all we're doing is adding a shaving to make the pass. So Tosaigh, start, Tosaigh. How would you say, Martin, I started?
Chosaigh me.
Come on, chosaigh me. I started working at 9 o'clock. How'd you say that, Martin?
Chosaigh me ag obair.
Ag obair.
An 8 o'clock?
Yeah, ag an 9 o'clock. Chosaigh me ag obair ag an 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Oh, 9 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah, chosaigh me ag obair ag an 9 o'clock.
Ag an 9 o'clock.
Dúisigh, wake up, Dúisigh. Richard, I woke up at 7 o'clock.
Rúise me ag 7 o'clock.
Come on, rúise me ag 7 o'clock. Rúise me ag 7 o'clock. Brilliant. Okay, so we also have commands that begin with a vowel. For example, can you think of any actually? Richard, can you give me a command that begins with a vowel?
That begins with a vowel. Ol.
Ol, good. Drink it. Ole. Have you any more, Martin? Good.
Imir.
Do you want to tell someone to open the door?
Oscail.
Oscail. So there we have ol, drink, Imir, Oscail. Okay. Obviously, I can't put a shaving on a word beginning with a vowel. So what we do to make the past, when the command begins with a vowel, is we put the letter D in front. Okay. D is for done. Okay. D is for done and dusted. It's over. This is where we use the D. Okay. So how would you say, I drank a cup of tea in the morning, Richard. All is the command.
Dul me cupante imagine.
Margin, go on. Dul me cupante margin. Dul me cupante margin. And Imir is play, Martin. Imir. How would you say I played football? Football is pel. I played football yesterday.
Dimrim pel.
Okay. Hang on now.
Inye.
Imir is the command. So I played.
Dimmer me.
Come on.
Dimmer me pel inye.
Come on. Dimmer me pel inye. Dimmer me pel inye. So we have no ending to add. Kind of easier in a way, isn't it? She opens the window, Richard. Oscail.
Duscail she an hineog.
Duscail she an hineog. Duscail she an hineog. Come on. Duscail she an hineog. Good. And Inish is tell, Martin. Inish. She told the truth.
Dinish she an
eardine.
An eardine.
Come on. Dinish she an eardine. Intach. Okay, so they're not too bad. Or maybe one more. Imigh. Imigh lat. Imigh is like leave or go. Imigh. I left, Richard.
Dimmer me.
Say it again.
Dimmer me.
I left. The Imigh is the command. Is leave. Imigh. I left.
Dimmer me.
Sorry, dimmer me. Yeah, I didn't hear you. Maybe you said it right the first time. Yeah, dimmer me. Okay, so we have one more. So first of all, if it begins with a consonant, we add a H. We add the sheibhil. Ceannaigh me cór nua an bhliain seo caite. Díol me mohach. Ghearr she an cóca. Phoghlaim me an tseach. If it begins with a vowel, we put a D in front. Dul me cupante margin. Duscail me níoR. And now in one more group we have to look at it, and that is commands that begin with the letter F. Because the command begins with the letter F. It's actually going to do both. It's going to take a sheibhil and have a D as well, right? Greedy Fs. Does both, okay? So if we can think of some commands that begin with the letter F, you might say, what's the command learn, Richard? Like learn it.
Fhoghlaim.
Fhoghlaim, come on. Fhoghlaim. Fhoghlaim. Let's just look at why this is that we need both here. When I put a sheibhil on an F, can you say that word now? I have it in the chat, Richard. Fhoghlaim. How does that sound?
Fhoghlaim.
Olam. Olam. It's almost as if it begins with a vowel, isn't it? Because the FH is silent. Okay, Olam. Now, how would you say, I learned it, Richard?
Dolam.
Dolam me. Dolam me. How would you say, I learned French in school, Richard?
Dolam me Frankish school.
Good. We just say Skull, actually, to mean in school. Dolam me Frankish Skull. Dolam me Frankish Skull. Come on. Let me think of another one beginning with the letter F. Fan. Fan. Fan on chin. Fan on chin. Stay there. Fan. How'd you say I stayed, Martin?
Don me.
Don me. Don me. How would you say I stayed 2 nights in Dublin?
Don me. So I left. Clear.
Yeah.
Ra ihe.
Come on. Don me. Ra ihe amalia clear. Don me. Ra ihe an chin. Intach. Don me. And here's another one. Féach. 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 Do you know what féach means, Richard? Féach.
No, I don't.
No, it means look.
Okay. Oh,
we look
like fecum.
Yeah, that's actually fec, which is see. That's the difference. So we have 2 commands there. You see féach.
Okay.
Which is look, and fec is see. Yeah. Okay. So fec is one of the 11 irregular ones, isn't it? But féach is regular. Okay. Féach. And we look at something. So the preposition we use is féach air.
Is it Feach ar an television?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, or look at me, Féach orm. Okay. So how would you say I looked, first of all, Richard?
Deach me.
Yeah, good. Deach me. How would you say I looked at the television?
Deach me ar an television.
Come on, deich me an telefish. Do you know the word for last night?
Aréir.
Come on. Okay, try all that sentence now. I looked at the television last night.
Deich me an telefish aréir.
Come on, Ceannaigh mahu. Deich me an telefish aréir. Intach. That's Féach. Agus ceanna bháin eile. Feabhsaigh. Feabhsaigh. Feabhsaigh means improve. Feabhsaigh again begins with an F, so we have to do both. So how would you say the word for things is rudaí? Rudaí. How would you say things improved, Martin?
Dúisigh rudaí.
Come on, Dúisigh rudaí. Dúisigh rudaí. Ceannaigh. Okay, so we know how to make the past. It's quite straightforward. Okay. The next thing we need to know in Irish is always like how to ask a question or how to give a negative response. When we wanted to ask a question in the present and in the future, Richard, what was the little word that we put in front of the statement?
An.
On, exactly, on. Okay, the question word in the past is going to be different. It's not on anymore. Instead, it's air, A-R. Air, A-R. The letter R, will you see this now? All of the little words that we would have been looked at in the present and in the future, they're going to all turn into little R words. They're all going. The letter R is very important in the past in Irish. Okay. Okay. So we have, for example, whom me an doras, whom to an doras. How would you say, Richard? Did you close the door?
Whom to an doras.
Come on, whom to an doras. Whom to an doras. Martin, I might say, Ceannaigh to cófra nua. You bought a new car. Ceannaigh to cófra nua. Did you buy a new car?
Ceannaigh to?
Yeah, Ceannaigh to cófra nua.
Ceannaigh
to cófra nua. Ceannaigh to Ceannaigh to
Ceannaigh to a new
cófra nua. Ceannaigh to cófra nua. Here's a new one, Richard. You might say Díol is sell. Díol. How would you say I sold, first of all?
Díol me.
Come on. Díol me mahach. Díol me mahach. How would you say, Richard? Did you sell your house?
Díol to do yach.
The hach. Come on. Díol to the hach. Díol to the hach. Díol to the hach. So that's it. We just put the little AR in front. And we still have the shevu after it, right? Díol me mahach, díol to the hach. Let's look at the ones that began with a vowel now, like ol, and became dol me copantaine. Dol me copantaine. If we want to ask a question here, I'm going to use The thing is, this letter R is so telling me that I'm in the past. My ears are going, oh, there's the question word from the past. That I don't need to hear that D anymore. Okay, so if you have an R, all to a, did you drink it? So in the past, if you began with a command and you had a D, you don't need the D if there is an R around. Okay, we'll see that again and again. With all the little words.
You just leave it out.
You leave it out. All to cup on te imagine. All to cup on te imagine. So Martin, first of all, we had Imir. How do you say I played football yesterday?
Dimmer me pel inye.
Well, dimmer me pel inye. How would you say? Did you play football yesterday?
Imir tu pel inye.
Come on. Imir tu pel inye. Imir tu pel inye. This is also with the F's as well. Okay. So Foghlaim. How do you say again, Richard? I learned French.
Dolan Frankish at school.
Come on. Dolan me Frankish. Yeah, the M at the end there, everybody nearly forgets to say me after. Dolan me Frankish or skull. Dolan me Frankish or skull. Did you learn French in school, Richard? How would you say that?
Our Foghlaim too, Frankish our school.
Okay. It was Dolan, and I'm just going to drop the D. So that would be
Olam.
Umash and Olam. Still have the shehu. Olam too. Olam too Frankish or skull. FHOGHLAI.
We're keeping the lenition.
We're always keeping the lenition. Exactly, but we're not keeping the D. Olam too Frankish or skull. So let's see that in the more obvious place. For example, Richard, I broke the window. Bris would become I broke the window.
Bris me an inog.
Come on, bris me an inog. Bris me an inog. Did you break the window?
Ar bris tú an inog?
Ma bris tú an inog. So you can see you're keeping the lenition there. Bris tú an inog. Great. Let me see now. Let's make a sentence negative. And when we wanted to make a sentence negative in the present and in the future, Martin, what was the little word that we used? So,
negative and in the future.
In the present. So, for example, in the present, I said, I clean my house every day. I say, glanim mahach ga chlá.
Was it ni?
Ni, exactly. Ni made it negative. Ni glanim mahach ga
Ni
chlá.
glanim mahach.
Yeah, ni, and I father. But in the past, as I said, all of these little words are going to turn into ors. Okay, so what could it be? Ni
or
níoR. Yeah, so there's the negative word for the past. NíoR. NíoR. How would you say I cleaned the house yesterday, Martin? Bhliain.
Níor chlan me an teach.
Yeah, there's no ending in the past. No extra ending to add to the verb. Níor chlan me an teach inne. Just put in a shape. Níor chlan me an teach inne. Richard, Ceannaigh me cór nua an bhliain seo caite. Ceannaigh me cór nua an bhliain seo caite. How would you say I didn't buy a new car last year?
Níor cheannaigh me car nua an bhliain seo caite.
Níor cheannaigh me cór nua an bhliain seo caite. Níor cheannaigh me cór nua an bhliain seo caite.
Níor cheannaigh me car nua an bhliain seo caite.
An bhliain seo caite. An bhliain seo caite.
An bhliain seo caite.
Come on, Sinead. Bhliain. Bhliain is a feminine word. So when we put de in front of it, it becomes an bhliain. Like ban, a woman, an bhan. An bhliain seo caite. What did you say last month, Richard? It's a feminine word as well, by the way. Me.
An bhí seo caite.
Come on, bhí seo caite. An bhí seo caite. Come on. And let me see. Okay, we'll come back to the F ones now. Okay, F. Féach. Féach. Look, Féach. Again, Martin, how would you say? I looked at television last night. You know, it's like I was watching television.
Dach me.
Come on.
Ar an telefish. Last night. Iche seo caite.
Yeah, kind of good. We have a word for that. It's aréir. Aréir.
Oh, right, yeah.
Aréir. Deach me an telefish aréir. Deach me an telefish aréir.
Deach me an telefish aréir.
Come on. I didn't look at the television last night.
Ní hech me.
What's our negative word? Níor. Good.
Níor hech me.
Yeah.
Ar an telefish aréir.
Come on, Sinead. Níor éach me an telefish aréir. Níor éach me an telefish aréir. Eva. Of course, we can have some nice easy ones that we know how to do because they don't make any changes at all. So let's say run. How would you say I ran home, Richard?
Rithme.
Yeah, rithme awalia. Rithme awalia. I didn't run home then, Richard.
Níor rithme awalia.
Come on, níor rithme awalia.
Níor rithme awalia.
How would you say, Richard? I didn't drink tea, but I drank coffee.
Níor ó me té ach dul me coffee.
Come on, níor ó me té ach dul me cafe. Come on.
Look at you.
You're flying, Richard. Okay, Martin, you ready for one now?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we might say I didn't play football, but I played golf, which sounds the same. G-A-L-F.
I didn't play
Pell.
Níor Imir me pell ach dimmer me golf.
Ma, níor Imir me pel ach dimmer me golf. Ítach. That's really good. Let me just say one more thing. So we might like to know how to say, I said that I bought a new car, and so on. We said it already, we have 2 words for that in Irish. We have to give a positive that and a negative that. Remember
go and go and nach?
Yes, go and nach in the present and in the future. And they mean that. What do you think go might become in the past, Richard?
Go.
Yeah, okay. Ghearr. Ghearr.
Ghearr.
With an R. You got the R anyways, didn't you? Ghearr. Ghearr. G-U-R. So you see the R is very, very significant for the past. It's all over the place, the letter R. And nach would become níoR. N-A for the R. níoR. So you might say, dúirt me, níoR óla me Frankish. Dúirt me, gur óla me Russisch. I said that I learned Russian. Dúirt me, níoR óla me an budéil fine. Dúirt me, gur ól sé an budéil fine. Okay? See, so we have to use that. We have to know, is it positive that or negative that? Did he do it or did he not? Okay. Let's come back and we'll Cop means spend. We had this one already. Spend time or spend money. Richard, I spent the money.
Hach me an interrogate.
Come on, cha me an target. Cha me an target. I said that I didn't spend the money, Richard.
Dúirt me nar cha me an target.
Come on, dúirt me nar cha me an target. Dúirt me nar cha me an target. Martin, you might say, I think that he spent the money. I think. Capum.
Capum. So this is in the present, right?
No, I think that he spent. So it's we're introducing the past.
Capum go cha. Capum go cha.
Gur cha sé an target.
But that's in the past. I think that he spent. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Capum go cha sé on target.
Come on. Capum gur cha sé an target. Capum gur cha. We'll do that again because it was a bit confusing there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, Martin, if you want to say that, I think that he spent the money. So this is positive, right? But it's in the past. He spent the money. I think was in the present that he spent the money. Capum
gur cha sé an target.
Come on, mahu. Capum gur cha sé an target. Capum gur cha sé an target. Come on, go hintach. Go hintach. Stop on with on shin. Rinne shiva on over. You did great work. So that's you've got the structures now for the present, the future, and the past. And you can see in the past, really it's all about the shevu, putting a shevu on, the letter D sometimes for commands that begin with a vowel, and then the letter R. So all of the little words are going to become níoR, Ghearr, níoR, even the word before sulla in the present. What would it be in the past, Richard? Sullar chaf me an targets. Sullar yield me mahach clan me. Before I sold my house, I cleaned it. So always the letter R there, the little words in the past.
What does sulla mean?
Sulla means before. And then we come in the past, that would be sullar, S-U-L-A-R. Just to show you that, like any of these little words, we have an R in them in the past. Yeah, Ceannaigh, ma shiv, rinne shiv on over. You did great work. Great work. Well done.
I hope you enjoyed that session and you found it useful. And if you want to find out more about Patricia and her course, and also the Michelle Thomas Irish course that she helped to produce, then I'll put the links in the description below, as well as the words from the session, so that you can look over and use that information to improve your Irish. I'll also put a link to Martin's channel on YouTube so that you can find out what he does raising awareness and helping to promote his language of Tvensk, a Low Saxon, and give him a follow and a like too. All the best. Bye-bye.